breaking news coming in of courtesy D-Rock Irish. Well, so Boise State exited the Arizona Bowl against Central Michigan. That happened maybe 4 or 5 hours ago due to COVID. So Central Michigan looking for another team to play, while media outlets mention that the Chippewas may go to the Sun Bowl to take on Washington State. And of course, Washington State and the Sun Bowl looking for an opponent now that Miami has its own COVID issues and they've bailed out of the Sun Bowl. So 3 ACC teams, Miami, Virginia, and Boston College, will not play in their bowl games, and their opponents all looking for foes on the other side of the line. Memphis could not play, and Hawaii in the Hawaii Bowl, and that's another one that we are missing. Our second game that was going to be played today, that game was not played. We had the Western Michigan win over Nevada in the only bowl game of the day. And so we've had 5 bowl games impacted thus far. Are we going to have more glamorous, high-profile bowl games impacted? And are we going to have the college football playoff of the national championship impacted? We can certainly talk about the ramifications there. The College Football Playoff Committee released its guidelines just a few days ago in regards to how it's going to structure and decide the winners of these games and the result of the playoff if certain teams cannot play. So if you have yet to come through that, by that information, what is going to happen is if one team has to forfeit a semifinal game, let's say Georgia has to forfeit against Michigan. Michigan will advance to the national championship game. If both teams cannot play that game, meaning Michigan cannot play, Georgia cannot play in the semifinal game, the other semifinal game will then serve as the national championship game. And that's what we've got right now, which could be rather interesting if, let's say, in that case, Georgia and Michigan can't play and Cincinnati and Alabama play. There's a winner of the game. You've got your national champion, and that could not necessarily be decided for days and days after the semifinal game that was, in fact, the national championship game. As mentioned and announced to everyone, Big Dog Brett's going to join us, and there he is to talk up the Dawgs. Hey, Brett, how you doing?
Doing great, Mark. How are you today, sir?
I am doing just fine. I appreciate you being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
How was your Christmas and the rest of your holiday season?
Expensive but enjoyable.
Okay. There must be kids in the house.
Yes, we have an 18, 15, about to be 4, and a just turned 1-year-old. So,
whoa,
busy house.
Damn it, there. That does get expensive. I've only got half of that to deal with, and they've pretty much moved to a place in life where, hey, I still get them gifts, but they know that there's a budget in place. But yeah, 4 of them running around.
Yeah, so it's nice the older 2 can help out on the younger 2 quite a bit, so it works out good.
Good stuff. So we want to let everyone know to head on over to Big Dog Brett's channel right here on YouTube. Subscribe, check out the videos and his breakdown of Georgia football. He's got a passion for it. He loves Georgia football. He's knowledgeable. That's why we have him here as well. And again, head on over right here on YouTube and check out Big Dog Brett. And also the content that he's placing on our SEC channel in particular. What do you think of these guidelines that the committee put forth in the last few days regarding the playoff and the COVID situation and what's going to happen if a team or teams cannot play?
Well, I think that they're trying to do their best to lay some ground rules to kind of prevent the mass exodus. I think there's a lot of financial influences in especially in college football season, in bowl season. They're already struggling, in my opinion, to keep these extra bowls valid. We've seen a lot of players already check out of some of these games, but I'm I'm not real fluent on what the new rules are, so you might have to give me a refresher real quick.
Yeah. So as I understand it, if let's say Georgia can't play Friday night, then Michigan will automatically advance to the national championship game and play the winner of Cincinnati, Alabama. But if there's a game in which both teams cannot play, let's say Georgia and Michigan, then the other game, let's say that news comes down hours before or a day before the semifinal games on Friday, then the Cincinnati, Alabama game will be deemed as the national championship game.
That I think they're trying to put stopgaps in place so that they can claim a national champion. But I mean, you would have to have both teams, both say Georgia and Michigan, to call it off. And I think what would end up happening is that both of those teams, if at all possible, would wait on the other one to bow out first. And then the other team would just stand there and say nothing, just kind of like when you're playing poker, check. I'm not gonna fold my hand. I'm gonna wait and see what happens. And what could very well happen is that, in my opinion, if that happens on both sides, you could have two teams end up playing each other that essentially both skip the game. So I don't know. It could be interesting, but I really hope that's not the case. I hope it plays out where everybody gets their turn. Everybody's healthy. Everybody stays healthy. And then we can just, have college football the way we want it.
Absolutely. JT Daniels is not going to be able to suit up and play, apparently. And Stetson Bennett, if he's healthy and ready to go and going to play a full game, I don't think that the JT Daniels situation really impacts the game. But you don't have a backup quarterback who has experience or a go-to option if Stetson Bennett's not playing well. So your thoughts about that?
It's very rare. It's very rare that somebody gets information before you do. So I'm pretty excited about this. About 30 minutes ago, they announced that JT Daniels had cleared the COVID protocol.
Nice. Okay.
He arrived in Miami, and he will be able to play.
Excellent.
So for those of you who don't know, that's breaking news. This just came out. I actually was going to make a video, but I had already agreed to come on here with Mark. So I figured it'd be a good time to do it then. And Mark, being a gracious host, already opened it up for me. So, it very well looks like he will be there, at least in backup fashion.